Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Married at First Sight All-Star Panel. I'm Glenn from Jack and Glenn.
I'm Jackie.
That's Jackie. We have my main man, Tommy, from August Love Story. Tommy, what's going on with you, brother?
Man, I'm here, man. So I'm doing great.
Uh,
Artieka may join me later, man. She's like got a little headache right now, so you know.
I got you. I got you. Talisa should be joining with us a little bit later as well. Hey, it's a lot to talk about. Married at First Sight. We on the homeward stretch, right? We're
Mm.
making our way. We cruising down to decision day, making our way down that road, and it's still a lot going on with these couples. We saw a surprise expert this week, Devon Franklin. We'll talk about him a little bit later. We saw Dr. Pepper as Pastor Cal as well. But it's a lot going on with these couples. It's some couples that are done, and it's some couples that we don't know what's going to happen with these couples. But let's start with this couple here. Let's start with Miguel and Lindy. All right, I want to start with Miguel and Lindy for this week, man. Tommy, your thoughts on Miguel and Lindy? What you saw and what you saw for this past episode?
Um, I think Lindy is gonna be the major issue when it comes to like him having a clear cut yes or no on decision day. But I still think that he's leaning towards that, okay, I'm out of this on decision day type deal. But Lindy has to figure out her anger issues and her issues with if somebody says, "Hey, don't like some just hypothetical situations." Her getting mad or just like internalizing it as like she did, it's like, what's going on? Why do that? So she got to figure that part out in order for them to like really move forward with what they're doing. Um, Let me see. He was saying he's enjoying everything right now, so it's like that's good. But it's just their relationship is just weird to me. It's something. It's for me. It's always something strange. It's like they're hiding something. It seems like um, one may be happier than the other one, or things may be just so perfect that it doesn't really make sense. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wrote for them. I ain't really write a lot for them.
Nah, they didn't have much going on except for the fact they gave McGindy back up for adoption.
Oh yeah.
Not for adoption.
Whatever they, somebody came and got McGinty. They did, 1 week
They
was
relinquished their foster parent
yeah, they
rights.
Right.
relinquished their rights, right? After 1 week, that was enough. But I mean, that was the biggest thing to me that she is not motherly at all. And if
Mhm.
they ever do want to have kids or they ever want to get together, whenever they get together and have kids, that she's the problem. It's gonna be rough for him and her. I mean, she was just this is a doll baby now, and it was crying every 2 hours. Uh, have a real baby, right? Have a real child and find out what it's like.
Mm.
Everybody thinks it's peaches and cream until you actually have a legitimate real life that you're responsible for. You can't give that back, right? You can't say, you know what, hey, I don't want that, I don't want that anymore. Y'all take that back to the store. And I think she's gonna struggle with that, and he's gonna struggle with that because the fact that he's gonna have to do everything for her and him because she's not as mature as he is. And I think, we talked about it last week. People said he likes to dress up, but I think he's mature. He wants to take care of a child. I think he does like that. But she has issues, man. And then with this, I think when they met with Pastor Cal, and he was like, "Well, how many times have you ever blew up?" She was like, "2." So
No. She said he asked her on a scale of 1 to 10, like when it comes to your freak out, your wilding out, how many times have you been at a 10? She was like 2. And what I think she should have said is, but I've been real close. Because anytime she keep telling him, I could get crazy. You don't want to see that side of me. I said, that says to me, she probably get crazy before 10. 10 is just like real, just loony bin status.
but who's telling her though? I mean, who's telling her that this is a 10 or that she's them blew up or blew off the handle and you really devastated everything, right? It's not like who told her. At least with Michaela. Michaela said, "Look, my family told me that I was a 10. This is what Hurricane K. This is what 5 looks like." Lindy doesn't even know because what her last time she had a major one blow up was like 10 years ago, right? So for 10 years, you've been telling yourself, "I'm gonna blow up one day. I'm gonna blow up one day." I'm gonna blow up one day. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Why put that out there like that?
That's what I said.
It's like if it's you, it'll show up in
Mm-hmm.
this situation. But because it hasn't shown up and what has shown up he's satisfied with, like, why don't you leave it at that? Like, why is it that you're saying this hypothetical? Or I can get worse than this. Why would you say that? Like, I would
Yeah.
never tell anybody that. You
Mm-mm.
know, you
I've
you
never
just
said
have to
that.
find out.
That's what I'm saying. You'll know.
Right.
You will
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, you know, but you know, but again, don't keep preparing me for something that may never ever happen, right?
Exactly.
I mean, in 21 years, with 21 years next week, we'll be married. I don't think I've ever gotten to a 10
This week.
this week. Oh, it is this week. This
Hmm.
week, right?
Good job.
Again, but that's again, it's your personality, is who you are. I don't keep saying, "Oh, I'm gonna blow up one day." It's like you the Incredible Hulk. Don't make you ain't gonna like me when I'm angry. You ain't gonna like me when I'm angry. You ain't
Right.
gonna like me when I'm angry. You may never get that to that point. You're setting yourself up so when something happens, you can get that angry. And she's making like a scapegoat. Like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get angry one day, so I expect you to forgive me. Because I told you all this time I was gonna get angry. No,
But
that's not how relationship and that's not how marriages work. That you don't do that.
But like I said, like, Pastor Cal asked her that, and he was like, so she said she's only gotten to a 10 twice. So put it in context, even though she might be threatening to get that crazy, she's only been that crazy. And I'm gonna say she's only gotten that wild 2 times. But that's why I said I think that wasn't a good question, because I mean she been tripping so far. And then has she gone off the deep end? No. But it was kind of like, what? So I think for Miguel's taste, it won't take no 10. That's what I'm saying. She could get to 8 and he'd be like, nah. Because right now at 4.5, he's like, I don't think I can do this. So
Right.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy. Is like you can see him trying to find a way out the door, and she's just giving him fuel to the fire.
right.
The thing that like really looks crazy is that even her friend was saying that she internalizes things, and they're coming up with the same conclusion. And he's only known her 6 weeks at this time, at this
Yeah.
moment.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that's a real flaw. For people to be like, hey, you need to change this about yourself, and I can point it out quickly. That's a flaw in your character, man. And so telling somebody, oh, I get even worse than what you've seen so far, it's like, that's like, do you want this thing to work?
Right. Right. You supposed to be putting your best foot forward. You're not supposed to look. There's some things that you may just want to keep to yourself.
Yeah.
There's some things that I'm gonna just keep to the chest, and when it comes off, it comes off, and then we can ask for forgiveness and we can work through it later. But if I keep preparing you up for it as a man, I'm just gonna be thinking like, you told me about this. You knew that you had this in you. You knew that you was going to deal with this. So why didn't you get help or check it?
Well,
Why didn't you go? Why didn't you go to therapy and figure out why you get to a 10, right? Why do you try to help yourself progress so you can control your anger? Even the Incredible Hulk's the Hulk doesn't want the Hulk to come out, right?
Right.
He's trying to keep the Hulk inside.
or better
Right.
yet, and then at the same
And I'm talking
time,
about She-Hulk because Netflix and all that stuff. So I'm just throwing that.
at the same time, and then this the other thing. Every time she wild out, he's sitting there like, "Is this the 10?
Yeah.
Is this the 10? Oh, shoot, this ain't the 10 neither. Oh no!" And like Pastor Cal says, so can you live with her knowing that she could get crazy, I could get wild? It's gonna have him guessing every time. Like, is this
Right.
the worst she can get?
Dude,
He gonna be on edge. I can't do that.
not on edge. He be packing his bag every time that she goes off, right?
Like
Yeah.
Tom said, you just wait and see. You'll find out.
Yeah,
Right. You'll see it. You'll walk right into it, man.
Yeah.
You'd be like, there it is. I did want to ask you guys about the question that Miguel had asked. I think he was like, something about a loveless marriage. Can she be in a loveless marriage? And I was like, first off, why ask that question?
Right.
Like, where's that come from? Like, and then the second question is, why is the marriage loveless?
Right.
You know?
right? And who's not showing the love,
Right.
right? And
I,
and then what? And to define love for me, right? Because love is the action. Is it the action that you're not getting, or is the words that you're not getting? Because what eh, you should be before it gets to the loveless part. This is where I took it. It should never get to loveless.
Mm-hmm.
It should be fixed and corrected because you can realize your spouse are not doing the things that they used to do, or that she should be doing, or he should be doing. And so therefore, those come to questions like, okay, by the way, I noticed that you haven't said I love me about 5, 6 days, or I noticed you haven't cooked this dinner. We haven't talked, or we haven't spent time together. We haven't done all these things. Before you get to loveless, you should be able to see some of the warning signs, and y'all should be able to have this conversation or get the help you need.
and
Right.
I think the question is because Stacia touched on this too. So loveless, like I don't even love you no more, or I'm just not in love with you. Like I'm not like at the point where I feel like I just can't live without you. I can see doing my life without you, which kind of loveless, because I think Lindy was answering the question like, we don't have that loving feeling no more, loveless. So
Yeah.
she was like, I could try, kind of work through that and try to get back to the point where we're having that loving feeling. But like, ain't nobody gonna stay in a loveless marriage. Like, I can't stand you. You get on my nerves. Like, ain't nobody gonna do that. That's what I think loveless like I hate you. You get on my nerves, you know. So
Yeah.
I think, to answer that question, I have to put in perspectives like, so you mean like loveless, like I don't like you, I put up with you. Um, I don't like just the sight of you repulses me. I wish you wouldn't come home from work.
Dog.
You know what I'm saying? Or is it some like, you really upset me the other day. I love you and we can work through this, but like I don't like you right now, but we can get past this. But that's the question.
That's not loveless, man. That's
That's what
everyday
I'm saying.
marriage, man.
Right. But I felt like Miguel was saying something like that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
It could be interesting if
Walking
he
around
was
like your
just
roommates instead of husband and wife.
what'd you say?
Walking around like your roommates, like other than you husband and wife, right? You just go
Yeah.
by asking each other. You're not doing any intimate things, or you're not doing any of those things that you were doing in the past. It's like, okay, all right, how you doing? Bye. All right, good. Bye. See you later. I'm gone.
Yeah.
All right.
It's no friendship there.
Yeah, there's no
right.
friendship there, right?
And it's like it was a weird question to just ask anyway, because they were
Mhm.
asked throwing, you
But
know.
see, it makes you think. Why did he ask it? Was he thinking that already, or did he see somebody like that, or is he like, you know what? I mean, remember he said, "I'm gonna make my decision in 8 weeks." So is he already in this place that, you know what? I don't feel love here. So I'm just
He-
biding my time. It's 2 weeks left,
That's
and I'm
all he
doing what
biding this time. His answer is no.
I,
This woman is crazy.
I think. And you know what? I think she's weighed on him so much that I think he does. He said, "I love her," so I think he does love her. But it's like more so the love that I don't want you to leave me, but I'll leave you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like you around,
Right, right, right.
and I can take care of you, or whatever case may be. I just they still have they like you said it earlier when you started it. There's still some things with them that we haven't seen
Yeah.
that I think is big in their relationship. There's a lot of stuff we haven't seen because they're the safe couple, right?
Right.
They're the
Which is
safe.
weird that they're the safe couple.
How did we get here?
Yeah, right, exactly. How did they become the safe couple, man?
Right.
Right. I don't know how they became the safe couple, but that's what it is. They're the safe because even when other couples are talking about their discussion or arguing, you'll see Miguel just if you ever notice, he'll sit back in his seat and just watch.
Because he
He
like, we good.
he don't never comment, he don't say anything. Lindy will be just like she'll put her finger up like she at church, like she got a
Mhm.
question. But she just sit there and they just watch everybody else stuff just go, dang. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
They're again, they're safe. And right now, I just think the issue for them when they start living together and she start having a blow up.
Mm.
How does he handle the blow up when she has it? And that's the biggest thing for them. And what does she have to blow up over? Because we saw a potential blow up over insurance, and this is after 2 weeks of me knowing you.
Yeah,
You want-
that was
like you really wanted me to put you on my insurance after 2 weeks. That
like
was really Yeah. So she blew up over that. Well, I really need insurance. I really need. Well, what were you doing 2 weeks before me? You know. But that's the major blow we saw there. I don't
And
have
we didn't
anything
see
else.
the resolve for it.
We really did.
Right.
I mean,
No.
he gave in, and I think he's gonna keep giving. His marriage is gonna be just like that. He's gonna keep giving in.
That's not compromising.
It's not. It's
Mm-mm.
not compromise. He gonna keep giving in and losing part of herself because I think somebody
Mhm.
said in the chat she can keep whining and complaining, and he's gonna keep like, all right, Lindy, all right, Lindy, okay, I'll give it
That's
to
what's
you.
gonna happen.
I keep you, and she can keep saying, you don't want to see me at a 10, do you? Okay, no, I don't, but I'll give it to you. It's just like a child,
One day
right?
you're gonna be like, yeah, I want to see a 10, man. Let me
Yeah,
see a
but
10.
Mhm.
it's like that child who's having a fit in the grocery store, right? And the mother finally just gives him the candy bars to shut him up.
Hmm.
And I think that's what Miguel did with the insurance situation. And I think that what he'll keep doing in this relationship until she grow up.
Lily did that to me one time. I left.
Right.
I put everything down and was like, let's go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Oh
feel
my
you.
God.
Everybody looking at you like, what you gonna do? What you gonna do?
I'm leaving. That's what I'm doing.
Either I'm leaving one way or the other. I'm like, you want me to walk out here voluntarily? Because if I get hands on you, I'm going out of hand.
Right.
Oh man. Who want to go to next?
Let's get rid of Morgan and Ben.
Oh man.
I'm trying to hold Morgan Ben off.
What?
If Talisa comes, I want to hear
Okay,
Talisa's voice.
okay.
I'm trying to hold off.
Okay,
I'm trying to hold off.
Okay.
Let's go Stacia and Nate. Let's go
Okay.
Stacia and Nate.
All right.
Because they lead. Can we move in Stacia and Nate? Because Alexis and Justin still has a lot.
Yeah.
Morgan and Ben got a little bit, a little bit there. And then we all know Mitch and old girl, Kristen is a whole bunch there. So yeah.
Okay.
Your perception of Stacia and Nate. I'll start with you this time.
I don't know. I think the funniest thing for me, they had Pastor Cal like blushing.
They did.
Oh, he was like, yeah, I've been seeing, y'all and your little toys and everything. I'm embarrassed. They was like, why? And I think Pastor Cal was shocked that they went from not consummating to like full blown freaky deek. Yeah, he was like, "Oh, you're there, okay, wow."
And
But
they're like, Pascal, can we hook you up? He was like, man, nah.
I don't need y'all help.
Cal
Worry
ain't
about yourself.
He ain't letting none of y'all know what's going on. He ain't letting America know that he.
That's what I said. The pastor is not going to let his parishioners know he's a freak. Not. But the thing with them is, I think we kind of run into this at least once every other season, where Nate feels the love for Stacia, and Pastor Cal was like, "So have you stopped yourself from saying?" And he was like, "Yeah." And he went from instead of saying "I love her" to "I admire her." That was so insulting.
That's not insulting.
For your man to be like, "I admire you." No.
That's weak though. That's weak.
It is
right.
It's weak, but he does
weak.
think about the things he admire her finances. He admire her being strong. He admires the way that she handled business. He has not got to love you. Remember, this dude was just at a 40% a couple of weeks ago. So you want him to go to 40 to I love you because you gave him some cooch?
Not I love you, but not I admire you. Like you admire people you look up to. Like but you don't want to be with them.
But he looks up to her though. I really think he looks up to her. Well, I know what you're saying, but I mean, it doesn't sound right for your man to say I admire you when you saying I love you.
No. Even if I ain't saying I love you, don't say you admire me. It's like, I don't know. That's not coupled. No. Yeah. But and so with him not wanting to say that, and then the red flag when she talked to his friends, and his friend was like, I've never heard Nate say that to anybody but his family members. Never. You the only person that's brought that out. And Stacia was like, in all these years, like you ain't never got close to that. That's a red flag. So I just from this conversation, I feel like she's not going to get what she's looking for. So in words, she's just going to have to take him in his actions and deeds with him showing that. Because if she's just bent on him saying the words, she's going to get her feelings hurt because he's not going to say it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't think he's gonna say it, but I, he's doing again. I've always said this. Not you. If you're doing all the things and you're showing love and you're doing all the things, and she already has to know that this dude is committed. We talked about the tattoo. We talked about everything that he's doing. I know she wants to hear the words "I love you," um, but she's gonna have to wait on that because he's not ready. He wants to be fully committed to this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be a superficial "I love you" because that's what you want to hear. You should want it to be genuine and be from the heart and to be righteous. That and you know what? When I say I love you, I really do mean I love you. And I mean that's till death do us part, right? That means
Mm-hmm.
I love you. That when if you lose all your money tomorrow, we're gonna be fine. I still love you. If I lose my job, we still gonna be gonna love you. If something happens where we are put out, or whatever the case may be, that we're still gonna get. That's what love does. Love conquers all. So he wants to know that when I say this to you, it doesn't end up like me doing what my mom did because she loved my dad and I bounced, or not what you did. It's not you bouncing. I think that's why the cheating thing hurt him heart so much. It's like, okay, so you cheated 10 years ago. Who to say that's all that's out of you? Now, of course, I think he's far fetched here. It's 10 years ago. I think people changed it. Changed in 10 years. Things that you did 10 years ago, you should things you did 10 years ago, you shouldn't be doing now.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it worked.
Unless it worked, right? But even if it worked,
Right.
even if it worked, you still should be progressing,
Right, right.
finding different
Get
tools and
better.
getting better at it. So, so she said 10 years ago, and he was kind of taken back by that. I'm like, bruh, she ain't say 10 weeks. She ain't say before I started this process. She ain't say none of that. She said 10 years ago. And this is why I said he admired her because he was totally disappointed that she cheated. Right? Like he has put this woman on a pedestal.
Yeah.
He has
He
her on
said
a
that.
he has her on a pedestal. They're like, Stacia doesn't do any wrong, but you cheated. I thought that's not your character.
But that's why he said to her friends, I need to know her dynamically. Like, how has she gotten to the Stasha that she is today? And put it in perspective. And when you said that, I just thought about, and then we get past it to Tommy. I thought about that meme, that TikTok. I think everybody's doing. It's like, okay, so because I cheat one time, I'm a cheater. So if I cut hair one time, that make me a barber. It feels like he's doing that to her because she said, it was 10 years ago. And so now he's like, oh, Stasha's a cheater. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
I cheated, but I'm not cheating.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that when he said that he was disappointed, I was like, why? Like that was in the past. Like that, in order for this to work, you have to let her past be her past. And the fact that they hadn't talked about it, that's a problem. You know, like ask about it. You know what I'm saying? Ask about her previous relationships. How did you get to this point? Those are, like I always say, they have an issue with conversations. You know, like if it's a person that I'm meeting for the first time, I'm asking everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's your favorite color? What was your past relationships like? What do you like to eat? Can you cook? Do you want to cook? You know, do you know how to change the brakes on a car? Like, I find out things about you and just have random conversations. If you've cheated before, I would know that before going into this, you know, 6 weeks. Yeah, I would know if you've cheated before because we would have had a conversation about it. You know, because cheating is probably the number one thing, like why regular boyfriend and girlfriends break up. Somebody cheated, you know. And with that being such a regular thing, or majority, like if you sit 10 people in a room, maybe 8 of them have been cheated on or cheated, you know, before. It's like, all right, so that's a regular conversation to have. So it kind of threw me off the fact that he was finding that information and then it bothered him like that. Um, I think it kind of threw Stasha off too a little bit just because she was like, "What? Why does that bother you?" You know. I think they're gonna be okay. Like ultimately, I think they're gonna be fine, just because that's a very small thing. She's been cheated on before. She's cheated before. He's never cheated, apparently, is what he's saying. But I don't have no reason not to believe him. But since he says he's never cheated, it's like cheating shouldn't be an issue in their relationship. You
Right.
It shouldn't be a first of mind thing. And then the other thing I wanted to say about that was, in order for him to get to I love you, you have to let go of all of those things. You have to take whatever she says, whatever she do at face value and move forward. And if you
Mhm.
don't do that, then that's where the thoughts come in. The Is she's doing this? Is she's doing that? Is everybody doing what they need to do for us to be successful and stuff like that? So um I just hope he's able to let that go and move forward with them. Um I think that was the biggest issue. Like he just being insecure about that, man. That was, to me, that was stupid. But to everybody else, hey Talisa. But to everybody else, that was like, I think even Pastor Kyle was like looking at him funny for something like, "Why are you disappointed? It was 10 years ago."
Mhm.
Yeah, I think everybody gave him a side eye, right? You know what I'm saying? Everybody gave him a side eye, like, yo, if it was 10 years ago, I mean, even if it was 5 years ago, right? 2 years ago, bruh, it's not with you. I think this is one of the things about, when I look at the show, I think I leaned over to her and said, like, yo, if it didn't happen in our relationship,
It don't matter.
it don't matter.
Unless it's a serial thing.
Unless it's a
And that's
serious,
what we
right.
talked about. But yeah, it don't matter.
If it ain't in our relationship, it doesn't matter because we're starting fresh, right? It's newness here. It's new relationship here. Now, if you got your man and he was cheating on somebody and got you, you know what the old saying is: if he cheated to get you, then he'll cheat on you to get somebody
Right,
else.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Or vice versa. That's the old saying. But again, they haven't done it to you. I guess you in this relationship with this. Don't nail it to that.
But we thought about Tommy because you was like, because Nate did say he never cheated. And I had to put it in perspective when she talked to his friends. It was like, okay, so maybe this is an Elijah Wan thing. You didn't really cheat because you didn't define a
Yeah,
relationship
yeah.
role. Because it
And then that ain't necessarily like you're free and clear,
right.
you know. But like, I don't get it. Like you guys said, if it's a serial cheater, okay, it's more of a conversation. If it
Uh-huh.
didn't happen in our relationship, it's nothing really to deal with, because the reason why you're not in the relationship that you were previously in is because, if it's because of cheating, well, you got to learn from that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Find out why a person cheated. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I cheated, when I was in with my ex-girlfriend, I cheated, but I cheated because she cheated.
Mm.
It was the dumbest thing in the world. Instead of just walking away from the relationship, I cheated because I was like, this is what we're supposed to go through. Do do do. But I was what, 24, 25 years old, something like that. I can't remember. Um, but it's like it was dumb reason why I cheated. So find out why the person cheated. Talk about it. Be make it normal to have that conversation, because that's how you grow. That's how you grow with your spouse, at least,
Mhm.
I think.
Yeah, I think transparency is key. But I think you said it. Transparency early on is key. You shouldn't be finding this out week 6.
Right.
You
They
should,
definitely should have had that conversation before. Like, he definitely should have known that she cheated before,
Right.
right,
because the conversation would come up. Well, why did you break up with your other boyfriends?
Mm-hmm.
right. Have you
Well,
ever
one
cheated
cheated,
before?
or I cheated, or
Right.
so forth.
Go for it. Oh man. So let's see if we can bring Talisa in on this and ask her thoughts on this. I know
You talking about Stacia and
it's
Nate.
Stasha and Nate, and the cheating question. Was it overrated?
Oh, totally overrated. Is totally overthinking it. She's 30, whatever. 10 years ago, put her when she was in her 20s. Um, like, sir, and for you to be like, I've never cheated, it's because you've never had a real relationship. to have had any issues where you thought, where you didn't think it all the way through. Let's say that you didn't think it all the way through, and somebody actually fulfilled that need for you somewhere else, and then you crossed the line. You've never been in that situation. So for you to want to place judgment, or yeah, judge her because the 10 years ago she had a little infidelity, shame on you. Like, I don't think any of us, and I'm sorry I missed y'all because I'm late and all of that. As you can see, I'm in a different space, so I'm gonna be moving again. I'm gonna go silent and I'm gonna move again because the lighting, I don't like it. Anyway, so 10 years ago, Tommy always says he's not the same person. I know that Jackie and Glenn, you guys aren't the same people from 10 years ago. And I
No.
surely, 10 years ago, I was 36 years old. I'm a whole different person from when I was. And then in my 20s, you can forget it. I'm nothing like I was in my 20s today. I have grown so much. And he should, I don't know. I don't know. I be wanting people to have common sense to think about him. Is he 10 years ago? Were you the same? Are you the same person? Are you still selling bags on the beach, getting pulled over by the police? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, give me a break. Nate, give her a break. Actually, she's putting in way more effort than you are. Let me tell it, because she really wants this. And though you almost said I love you a few times, I don't know. I don't know. She supposed to, I kind of feel like she's supposed to be hanging on a whim too, like the rest of them. Like they all dangling the carrot, and because this is what you want, so I'm gonna just keep dangling it because you like me. You already said I love you. This is why women don't say it first. This is why women don't say it first. I'm gonna just be honest with you. Some women do. God bless your heart. I'm one of them women, and you could tell me, and I might love you, and I'd be like, "Oh, that's so cute." I'm gonna make you wait. I'm petty like that. I'm gonna make you wait until I feel like I want to say it after you say it, because the first time is normally a shock. Anyway, I don't know why I'm off on this tangent, but Nate really just finds a new way to disappoint me. Like sometimes I'm all like, "Yay, Nate! Yay, Nate!" Like that whole sex dungeon, "Yay, Nate! Yay, Nate!" That was me, right? "Yay, Nate!" But now I'm all like, "Why are you prolonging this? You know that you feel this way about her. You opened your mouth and you said, I almost said it." And what people fail to realize is love, saying I love you, is varying degrees, right? I don't love my dogs as I love my children. I don't love my children the same way I loved my late husband. Some people seem to realize that there are different degrees. I love ice cream. Sometimes I love ice cream more than I love my husband. I ain't gonna even lie to you. Sometimes it was just that good to me because he was getting on my nerves. It's varying degrees of love. And I just wish that he would take a step back, but he's got some growing to do. And I'm about to say, that's because he's in his 20s. That's because he's in his 20s and he's got some growing to do. And the moment that he realizes that he might have missed out, which I don't think he will, because Stacia wants to be married so bad that she's just gonna be like, okay. So I'm off my soapbox. I'm gonna move. Okay, I'll be back.
Hold on. You said something that before you moved. You said something there that I was like, should men? Tommy, help me out here. Should men say I love you first? I put the question in a poll in the chat. I need should men or are men required to say I love you first to women?
I told Artieka I love her first, but I knew it though. You know, like for me, it's like I'm gonna just tell her I love her and get it out my system. You know, just because it's like, why am I playing a game? You know, um, but me and Artieka, like you guys know, me and Artieka, like our relationship moves fast and slow at the same time. So
Mhm.
you know, but I don't like for me personally, I don't think it's a big deal who says it first, as long as the actions are there. You know, I think that's more important because I can say I love you. Because me and my homeboy, when I was in college, we talked about this. How many times have you told a female you love her just to get with her? You know, I was like, that's every time. You know, we talked about it, like, yeah, we use that to our advantage just because we got what we wanted, but
Dangling
then
carrot.
what'd you say?
Dangling carrot. It's the
Exactly.
dangling carrot. It's the dangling carrot.
Exactly. Why not? You know what I'm saying? If I know what I want and I ain't looking for nothing but that one thing, I'm gonna do what I gotta do to get it. I ain't gonna do anything illegal. But telling the person you love them, you may love them as a friend. I tell my friends I love them.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
There are varying degrees of love. Absolutely.
Yeah,
But when
very
you
just
talked about actions, I think about, I know people don't like the 5 love languages, but I think about it. Like, you saying I love you to me really don't mean nothing. To me, you can say it a million times all day long, and I'll be like, that's what's up. But are you spending quality time with me? Are you doing acts of service? When you come over, do you take my trash out? When you come over, did you help me cook dinner? Were you chopping? Like, those are the, when you got out of my bed, did you make up my bed with me? Like, acts of service is huge for me. So your words don't mean nothing. And I don't know. Did he say? Listen, I really kind of just watched it like an hour ago. I can't remember. Did he say that he was putting action behind? Like, did he say no? I'm not saying it, but I show her. I can't remember.
Yeah, he said he said I admire her, and he gave all kind of characteristics that he likes about her. And he talked about, he didn't mention the tattoo or the things that but he mentioned all the things that he has done, his acts of service for her. So I think
Okay, but her love language is words of affirmation, though.
words of affirmation.
The words are required for her. For him, they're not, but for her, they are required. So yes. I'm sorry. Let me be quiet again.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Wait, just the funny thing. I'm gonna say this. So when you said that to Lisa, Glenn says, which one of us said it first? We probably like the worst married couple, because I feel like it was so long ago, like I don't even remember.
I don't even remember. I really don't remember who said it first.
I feel like we probably said it in the same conversation. So does that count for who said what first?
But I knew I was doing acts of service. I knew I always wanted to be around it. You know what I'm saying? I knew we wanted to be together. I knew I'm gonna change my course in college so I can get out of school quick, so I can move down here and not be married and be in college like 200 miles away. You know what I'm saying? So when you say that, because I think sometimes women actually love the guy first, but they don't want to say it for the simple fact what Lisa said. They don't want to be heartbroken because they don't want it to be not reciprocated, right? I have a teenage daughter, and she likes people, but she doesn't like the rejection that she might get, or she thinks about rejection. And I think a lot of women are like that. They don't want. I may say it, and we may even look good, but I don't want the rejection that I think I might get. Because what if he doesn't feel the same way I feel? What if they don't think the same way I think? And I think that's where Nate is at. Nate doesn't want the rejection because his mama left. He's seen people leave who said, I love you. And what if this woman leaves me? What is this woman? Because let's think about it. He's thinking this way, and maybe I'm wrong. Y'all guys hit me in the chat. He's thinking she really don't need me. She has everything she wants.
Well, she actually do need him.
But remember, she said that she does need him. But she said that before, that I don't need a man, I want a man. So I don't know if she said that to him. So you figure she got all these toys, so that she don't need that aspect of it.
Well, she want to have a kid, so.
And you do need that aspect. Them toys do not give you the same heartbeat, the smell, the breathing, none of that. You still need a body, Glenn. Shame on you. Shame.
I'm not talking about what Stacia. I'm talking about what Stacia said. I'm not saying anything else. I'm talking about what Stacia said in the beginning of the series. She said, I don't need a man. I want a man. I can do everything for myself. I just want a man. So I'm implying that she said she do everything herself.
She was not talking about sexual intimacy, even though you can satisfy yourself to a certain degree. I don't know. Maybe I'm just speaking for my own self. I like the connection that comes with having a partner. And I think that when she said I can do everything myself is meaning I can take care of myself. I don't need nobody to provide for me. I know how to get the things that I want so that I can sustain my life. But it would be great to have a partner. Like, I desire someone. And I think that that's better than needing someone, because then it becomes codependent, right? Mm-hmm. But okay, I'm gonna leave you alone, Glenn.
I enjoy dialogue about stuff like this. I enjoy the dialogue because, again, it's different mindsets. 61% of you guys who voted in the poll so far said that
Oh, I don't think so. Is it me? At least I can't hear you.
Each other.
It's because I'm on mute.
Uh,
Oh, they need to embrace each other some more. All that. So go ahead.
We don't know what you were saying because you were frozen.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
Oh, my
you
bad.
were frozen.
I'm sorry. I was saying Stasha and Nate, I think the love is there. It's just they need to express it to each other in each other's love language. And he needs to say it. And so she can hear it. And she needs to continue to build the trust in him to let him know that she's not going anywhere. Because I think he's still traumatized from when his mama left. And he hasn't dealt with that issue. So they just need to share each other's love languages.
I wonder if he wrote it. Would it be because it's like he was saying he stopped himself from saying I love you. So it's you have the feeling of loving her, but you just don't want to say it because the words put some type of meaning behind your relationship, I guess, and a meaning that you're afraid of. And I wonder if he wrote it to her, would that suffice for her? You
Good
know?
question.
I feel like it would because it's still words. He's written because you're just not gonna write down "I love you." You're gonna put all this mushy stuff in the letter that's gonna affirm her. So I feel like it would be sufficient. Like that's what she wants. I need you to tell me that I'm wonderful, that you love me, that you want to be with me, that you desire me. So I think him writing it in a letter would probably be sufficient. Hey girl, where you at? Tell us. Like, where you at? Is that good? What's I need?
Yeah, I think he's so, but I think he's so intimidated by it. I think it would take a lot for him to write it too, though.
Yeah.
It would take a
They
lot for him
probably
to
erase
write
it a lot.
Yeah.
Check.
I just don't get it, man.
Oh, maybe.
Right? I just don't get it. It's like the action is the hard part to me.
Yeah.
To show a person that I love you, it means I'm going to do for you even after we fight, even when we fuss at each other. Like, I'm going to go fill up your gas tank when I didn't drive your car, you know, or you don't feel good today. I got it. Don't worry about it. Just,
Right.
You get your rest. Like, that's the hard part. Saying I love you when it's true.
Right.
It's not hard.
I ain't gonna just cook one piece of chicken. I'm gonna cook the whole. You know what I'm saying? I ain't just gonna fix a sandwich for me and enough fries just for me. I ain't gonna just make one plate. I'm gonna actually give you something to eat as well. You know, that's the thing. And we've been mad at each other for a couple of days, whatever the case may be. But I'm still gonna do the things that I know I'm supposed to do because I love you.
Right.
And we're gonna try to get over it.
I don't know. Nate's tripping, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you guys saw with Nate and Stacia before we move on?
I did see them like in the peanut gallery with Kristen and Mitch talking about some are they gonna make it?
Bro, that was hilarious. That was hilarious.
I was like, that's me and Artieka, man.
I'm like, that's me and Jackie.
Look,
that's the sign you're a real relationship. That is the sign right there that you are a real relationship because you got sidebars happening. If you don't have those, I'm sorry to tell y'all not in a real committed relationship. Okay, you should be like over there with secrets and shit, snickering, all kind of stuff. So I'm just saying.
Right. Because I'd be like this,
texting across the room.
I don't whisper well. So she be like, wait till we get to the car.
Exactly.
Just wait till remind me when we get to the car.
It was so, and she was just as slick. She was like, that's a no.
Yep.
You're not gonna make it.
That's funny, man. But it's good relationship stuff. That right there, Talisa, you're right. That is a sign that you're gonna make it when you and your spouse can do that type of stuff. That's a sign that you know what, we good. we good. Oh man, so that's all we're doing.
That's it.
That's it. Let's move on here. All right, Ben and Morgan. Ben and Morgan. Tommy, we'll start with you. Your thoughts on Ben and Morgan and Hoist Gracie.
All right, they're over, so that's it. I've been waiting for them to say, let's get a divorce. I don't like to see it when they don't make it all the way through. but it was no reconciling them because I don't think Morgan ever got over the first issue. And because she never got over the first issue, every other issue was amplified to a point to where it's just a no. You know, I think with Ben, I think Ben had taken the brunt of the reason why this failed. And I didn't like that. I feel like they should have called out Morgan a little bit more than what they did. I think Dr. Pepper did okay by saying, "Hey, this seems like your decision day. Are y'all gonna, what y'all gonna do?" Ben went through a whole life changing ordeal with this whole thing, so hopefully he comes out a better person, a better man, and can actually understand and find love that he's looking for. I think Morgan, and I'm pretty much done with them after this, but I think Morgan is like, I'm glad that she's off the show now, just because it does not seem like when they were all at the swimming pool, it seems like she was trying to be more of an instigator for Kristen and Mitch than anything else. And so that's not a good thing either. So, yeah. But that's it. I ain't really have much. Just glad they said no and moved on.
Yeah, you.
I'm gonna remain calm. Just a little bit. Yeah, it was. She never gave the poor boy a chance. She never gave the poor boy a chance. And I go back to when they had the little powwow in Stacia and Nate's apartment. The one thing about it is, whether Ben was with the guys or if he was with Morgan or if he was with all the couples, like, he was consistent. But she beat that poor man up. And Dr. Pepper would have been just, it would have been outrageous if Dr. Pepper hadn't have said, look, it's obvious you don't want to be in this thing. It would have been a crying shame. But I was ready for them to break up, to get divorced and be done with her, because nobody, near person, held her accountable. Like I said in our review, he's a people pleaser. He said he felt like he couldn't do nothing right in his dad's eyes, like he was a failure. His family are doctors. He decided to do engineering, and then you beat up on him. It's like you take advantage of this is his issue, and you harp on his issue. No wonder he's in therapy. No wonder he lost 7 pounds, because nobody's getting on her. Was he judgmental? Sure. What do you expect? You know what I mean? He don't understand. He couldn't talk to her because she does Muay Thai. He was scared of her. He couldn't talk to her. You know what I'm saying? But they never got on her, and I felt so bad. And then for her to say, no, it's a no from me. We can't be friends. I wouldn't be his friend. Why not? Because you don't trust him. She never gave the poor boy a chance. And I'm just happy to be over. I feel like you too, Tommy. In the group setting, I want to tell her, reach through the TV and tell her, shut up. Don't you interject. Don't you say nothing. You have nothing to say. Don't nod your head. Don't signify. Don't do none of that. Don't do none of that. Because you treated that poor boy terrible. Terrible. So I'm glad she made the decision. I really do feel like if Ben was really on the fence, because here again, he said, my family doesn't take divorce lightly. My parents are religious. They're all about marriage. So even in that space, he was like, I think if she was like, well, maybe, he would have said yeah. Because he just don't want to be a failure no more. And in that space, like I said, it just took advantage of his insecurities. Instead of them trying to build him up, I felt like every chance they got, they tore him down, and they didn't rip her to shreds, and she should have been ripped to shreds. So good riddance to bad rubbish.
I'm like Tommy. I'm glad it's over. We don't get to see her anymore. We don't get to see him neither, because I felt sorry for him. I felt bad. I felt bad for bruh. because he was beaten. I mean, you ever read that book, The Whooping Boy, when he was in school? He was the whooping boy, and he whooped himself. He beat himself up, literally. He beat himself up. He beat himself up. He beat himself up, and you can't be in a relationship. And if she would have said yes, let's continue this, he would have groveled at her feet and still been beaten and doing everything he can for the next 2 or 3 weeks just to get back in her good graces. Ben right now is not worried about Morgan. Ben is really worried about when he goes home and tell his parents, tell his dad, it didn't work out. To have his father say, "I told you so. I told you shouldn't have did this." Or hear his mama say, "I'm not gonna get no grandbabies now. I'm not gonna have any kids." I mean, I don't think he's really worried about Morgan. He's worrying about what he has to hear when he gets back home.
Right.
What he has to get, not just from family, from his community, or at the next family reunion or the family event.
You messed up again.
You messed up again, or you're not a doctor. We all doctors. We all this. We all that. And here you're an engineer doing well for himself, by the way, right? But that's not what they're gonna look at. They're not gonna look at he's doing well for it by himself. They're not gonna look at that he dropped some baggage off, which is Morgan, and he got out of abusive. They're not gonna look at he got out of abusive relationship. They're gonna look at you got a failed marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he's concerned about. He got out, let's be honest, he got out of an abusive relationship, and he probably will do better for himself. And the first thing he can say is, you know what? I think I might be leaving San Diego. Dude is trying to get out of Dodge. He is trying to run.
He is so beat up.
He don't want to face anybody. He don't want to do anything. Ben is like, it's bad. And my only regret, and I let Talisa go, is that he never stood up to her. And he never really gave her, I'm not saying belligerent, but he never gave her how he really feel about the situation, the peace of his mind. Hey, you're totally wrong. You messed up. That's not who I am. None of that. That was my thing. Like, yo, he at least should have, at the end of the day, gave her, like, all right, this is our last night together. I'm going to show you. And I know that might be wrong, but anyway. I'm off my soapbox.
we like soapboxes. They
Right.
They carry their way. We like them soapboxes. Ben and Morgan. So yeah, they were doomed from day one. I thought that they were a mismatch when I first met them. I thought, why would they put these two people together? Even more so, why wouldn't they do more extensive, like, we always talk about the vetting, the process, the questions. Like, you just have them fill out these questionnaires and then they go sit in front of a camera and ask your questions, and you look at their personality and you match them with someone. Like, what exactly is the process behind the process? That's what I want to know. Like, anybody who watches, have y'all ever gone through the Married at First Sight matchmaking process? Any one of our subscribers, if you have heard of somebody, know somebody, seen somebody, was somebody, I want to know what really happens, because there's no way that they're really matching these people on viable, like, characteristics, and behavioral traits, because Ben was timid from day one and she was very aggressive from day one, very much so. Get in line and do what I said. Give me your food. Like, that's how I felt when I saw Morgan. And the only thing I'm going to say is that's good that's coming out of this is that Ben may get a backbone, because he's going to therapy. He's actually getting the help, unless he's lying to us, okay? He's actually getting the help that he needs to be more confident, to be able to stand on his own, and to stop looking at his parents for his parents' approval. And honestly, we do that for a really, really, really long time. A lot of people won't admit it. I will admit it. I wanted to appease my mother for such a long time. And it wasn't until I was an adult with damn near 2 kids that I realized that I was still searching and seeking for her approval versus living the life that was happy for me, good for me. So I feel like Ben, hopefully this is the catalyst for Ben to being happy and knowing who he is, and maybe leaving San Diego and going to a whole nother state. Don't be in California. Will give him the autonomy and the freedom that he needs. And then on top of that, Morgan, baby, go get you some therapy, because you got some issues. You got some issues with men in general because of your father. Please go and get some help. Please go and have the conversations. Please understand why you're so angry and you held on to that. I just didn't understand why you were holding on to that so tight. Yes, he made a mistake. He should not have shared, but he does not have relationship issues. I mean, he has not had relationships in order to navigate these kind of issues really well. And he was seeking someone who was kind, that he thought was going to be able to help him because, that old Justin to him is friendly, which he is, and he seems like he's going to talk a good, like he know what he's talking about. It seemed like, Ben was like, oh, he know what he's talking about. Let me go ask him. He was the wrong person. You should have been going to talk to Miguel. Don't talk to Nate because Nate is a problem too. Go talk to Miguel, you know what I'm saying, and have a conversation. And Miguel might tell you, yeah, just close off for a little bit. But I think that might have been better than you going and talking to Justin, who is just all feels and la la land, rainbow and sunshine. So you befriended somebody that you seemed that you guys thought you were kindred spirits, but you were really trauma bonding as boys, that like we both got familiar issues, and so here we're bonding in that. And so I just feel like it's poor Ben and Morgan. You're gonna keep having the same pattern if you continue down the same line. You are not gonna get you a husband. But really, do you want a husband? You want a roommate that you could talk to and go out with. Your homegirl is fine, girl. You don't need nobody. It's cool. Get you a little piece here and there. Go on Tinder or wherever you go. Get you somebody, and then go and come on home. Be by yourself. I don't know. All right, y'all. It's my turn to be off my soapbox.
I'm gonna ask you guys this. I'm gonna put in the chat too. Question: who's the cause of their relationship ending? Is it Ben or is it Morgan? Because there's a lot of different views on this. Some people say it's Ben because he should have never talked, and some say it's Morgan by the way that she acted. But I'm gonna ask you guys, Tommy, who is the cause of their end of their relationship? Is it Ben or is it really Morgan?
I'm gonna say Morgan just because she wasn't willing to like work on it before it got worse. But Ben is not blameless in the situation, only because it's like if he agreed to not talk to the other couples about their relationship, and him like going behind her back and doing it makes him at fault, but like I've said before, it's just that was a weird request. You know what I'm saying? It's a hard request, and he should have said something then. You should have been like, nah, I can't do that. Or I won't talk about this particular thing, but if we do get into a conversation about relationships, I'm going to talk about my relation, or just be straight up with it, be like, hey, I can't talk to you about the things that I talk to him about, and this is why. And work on that part, because that's the part of marriage. That's the part of relationships. Is figure out why you can't, like, just really figuring out life together at this point. And it's probably, for me, it's 70-30 Morgan, just because of the non-willingness to forgive and forget about the first issue, and then moving past that. So
Lisa?
I think it's a combination of them both. Morgan's unwavering ability to just be like unforgiving and to just like hone in on something and just stay there. Like who is so angry and unhappy that they can't accept a apology? And not only that, knowing that Ben is a robot, okay? So he's very much so a brain. Emotions and vulnerability is not on the forefront for him. So for you to be like, I need you to show emotion, I need you, he is not going to express himself the way you do. And he's the same all the time, which tells you that he does not have the range of emotion that you want. You have to take what he says as face value. He is autonomous. He owns it. I mean, not autonomous. He's accountable. And so that alone tells you that he's sincere. If I could say, yeah, it was my fault. It was my fault. Over and over and over and over and over, and I shouldn't have did it. To me, I think that that's sufficient. So I feel like partly her and then partly him for not saying like, yo, are you crazy? Like, I need somebody to talk to. Like Tommy said, I need somebody to be able to express this with, and he is who I'm closest with. You aren't available for me. You're very closed off. You're very standoffish. You're very like Muay Thai. I'm gonna kick your ass. Like I just don't like. So it's the both of them. He needed to be like, so I need you to sit down and be quiet just for a little while. He might have needed that blindfold that Justin and what's her face had, so that he could have been able to not been afraid with her staring at him callously to express what he felt. Because I feel like he needed to say, "I'm genuinely sorry. I want to move forward," and she needed to be able to be like, "Let's move forward." But I don't know. Was that you, Tommy, or was that you, Glenn, that said that there's no one holding her accountable? And I think that's in her entire life. She knocked her friend's teeth out. I mean, so they all scared of her. I don't know.
Right.
You know what, Talisa, at first when you said that, I was like, nah, this Talisa my sis, but I'm not gonna say it equally. But when you said it, I was like, that's true. Because he did not stick up for himself. He didn't, I hate to say it like this, because it's got a negative connotation, but he didn't put her in her place and say, you know what, look, I've done everything that I can do, forcefully, like, I don't know what you want from me. You're asking for too much. He said it in that setting. I said it before. He comes from an Asian family. They don't express their emotions. If you knew anything about the part of your heritage, just Japanese, you would know that too. You know what I mean? And but to go back to what you said, Talisa, what is the vetting process in a relationship period, but especially married at first sight? You cannot come into that and be so rigid about, I'm not going to do this. I'm not, you can't be that rigid person in that relationship because you're a stranger. You don't know what this person is coming with. You're going to have to be a little bit flexible. So coming into this, you shouldn't be so rigid about looks. You shouldn't be so rigid about personality. You know what I mean? Because we had that with Brett and Ryan.
Yeah.
He didn't want no redhead. He got stuck on the redhead thing. If somebody's going to be so fixated on stuff like that, this ain't the process for you. So I'm going to blame Morgan, but I definitely agree with what Talisa said. I blame Ben does have some accountability in this, because he was judgmental at first, maybe more than once. I kept feeling like she was mad for something more than that. But when she took the time in her vignette to show, see, I do have a nursing license. I was like, is this really still about the nursing license?
I got mine right here too.
Look.
I got mine. I got mine. Just kidding.
Is she really still that mad about that? But yeah, I'm gonna blame Morgan, because you just cannot be so unforgiving in a relationship. You just can't. Not with no stranger. You can't do it.
Yeah, you stole my thunder. I was gonna show my nurse's license.
Look, I can show mine for real. You can look me up.
But that made me laugh, because like, you can Google me, and which made me go back to what she said. It was all about the nursing license and about, well, you're the one that lied though. But he told somebody you're lying. But she said it, and I'm done with them after this. She mentioned all she wanted was a companion. She didn't want nobody to come home, so she wasn't looking for a husband. She wanted a companion. She should have brought a dog. she should have brought a dog, because she said that, and you remember everybody around the table like, that's not gonna work out. How about him? How about his feelings? How about what he thinks? And she never could get about his feelings, or what he thinks was all about her. So let's move on here. I'm gonna move on to Talisa's people, Alexis and Justin. Alexis and Justin. Talisa, we start with you. Alexis and Justin. Now I'm gonna ask you this question. People said, did Alexis put on for Devon Franklin? Did she put on?
I think she did. I think the way when she walked in and saw him, and the way she was looking at him, I thought to myself, baby, let me tell you, you was trying to get some of that. Okay, listen. He came in though with his whole pastor spirit. So you wasn't getting none of that, lady. He wasn't even gonna give you a little bit. He came in like he was in the pulpit by the meat. Okay, like, you know how they talk to you. That's exactly how he sounded. But I feel like he did a really, really, really good job in talking to them. But that's not what I want to talk about. because I ain't said this the whole time that we've been together. She is very, very manipulative. Very, very manipulative. She will go from one extreme about how much he not doing whatever, specifically her going out with her homegirls every weekend, and you wanted me to be free and da da da. And the moment that he said, I don't think you want me, or you hurt my feelings, or whatever. Whenever it's something that is, oh, I hear you and it hurts me, she instantly, oh baby, I didn't mean, I don't know, I didn't want to hurt your feelings. Like, it's a very much so Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Mr. Hyde and Dr. Jekyll, y'all know who I'm talking about. Like, it's a very much so that, and I'm so for all of the Black love, but this relationship needs to just go on and end. They need to sever their ties. Because he's not gonna give her what she wants in the bedroom, which is to be dominated, right? Which is, I get it. I'm a boss all day long. I'm a boss as a parent. I want you to come in here and put it down. I want you to come in here and manhandle me because I'm doing all the manhandling all day long. Like, I get it, and he is not going to give her that. I think. But then again, what did we say a couple weeks, whatever I was here a month ago? What was it that we said? She don't really like him. She don't really like him. She just doing something. And even though they have that little side key that they have, it's really her and him agreeing with her. Okay. I'm all over the place because that made me think about at the end when she opened up her mouth and was talking about, he said he didn't want no makeup and this and this and that. And I thought to myself, that's not how it was phrased earlier. You are sharing someone else's business like you didn't want Ben to do for Morgan. Like, come on with the double standard. And what made it even worse was that your husband was just going to back you up blindly. He didn't say nothing. He could have just been quiet. But no, that's what you said. That's what you said. I remember it. Nobody else remembers those words, but I remember it. So for me, you were just a yes boy anyway. Oh, I said that out loud. But I meant that with my soul, with my whole chest. She is never going to respect you because you just follow along. You just follow along. Now, I am going to say that blindfold. Was that this time? Please tell me that was this time. The blindfold, was it this? Okay, never mind. Never mind. If I'm not here, I don't know what we talk about, and then I don't be in a
Go
place.
ahead, bring your point
but
up.
you can say it.
Bring your point up.
I am proud of him with the blindfold, really saying how I don't think you're attracted to me. I don't think you want to be with me. I'm really glad that he knows that, but I think it took her to say, I'm not ready to be married to Justin, in order for him to realize I'm just playing a game, or excuse me, she's just playing a game, and I'm putting myself out here really trying to, I don't know what he's trying to do, but whatever that is, realization just hit. So now when we go back to Devon Franklin, I really did enjoy the way he handled them. He ain't talked to nobody else. He was specifically there for them. And I kind of feel like they did that because he was an attractive man. It's an attractive man, so she gonna come in here and put her best foot forward. She probably planning that when she say no on decision day, that she gonna find Devon Franklin, since him and Megan ain't together no more, and gonna slide up in them DMs. Listen, I'm just saying, I was uncomfortable with her boobs out in front of the pastor. Okay, like, I know he ain't a good guy. You know what I'm saying? I know he ain't all that he. Let me not say he's not a good guy because I don't know the man. But I know he has, some kind of like sordid story with him and Megan in the news and all of that. Still, for me, her titties was too much. They was tittying too much. I was like, oh, even if it was Pastor Cal, would you have been in there like that? You don't have no clothes where you cover up a little bit of cleavage. I mean, because I like sexy. You're going to catch me in my real life, like, not with a t-shirt on. I'm going to be a hot mama. But ma'am, you got a regular 9 to 5 that you go to every day. You didn't have a regular shirt. She didn't, y'all. She don't got no shirts that she wear to work. Because I was confused. And I like that he said, I don't know if it was this time or that to last time. They all just rolled together. He said to her, "Yeah, you are a catch. You're a good woman, and whatever, whatever, whatever. But I'm a catch too." Now, I don't agree with that, but I'm glad that he thinks so. Right? I'm glad that he thinks so. That's what's more important. Ain't what I think. You know what I'm saying? Somebody out there looking at him like, go on and say no, girl, because I'm going to scoop him up and I'm going to treat him right and I'm going to let him dote on me all day long, right? Like, I don't know. And then if we really want to be honest about it, we know that it was the dog. Newton is the reason for the downfall of the relationship. There was no coming back after Newton, her baby. I think I'm off my soapbox. I'm sure y'all going to say something that I like and I agree already, okay?
Go ahead, Tommy, man. Go ahead, Tommy.
It's hard to follow that. Uh, yeah, the first time I saw what's his name, Devon Franklin, I was like, oh, that's Megan Good's ex-husband. But where do I begin with them? Alexis is she just starts mess and involving herself. I'm gonna start from the back and then work myself up. Like she just like when she yelled out, well, but like brought the whole thing up about Kristen and Mitch, and like everybody's like, well, I was thinking like nobody was talking to you. Like what? Like that's none of your business. Concern yourself with your husband. And for him, like I told Artieka, I would have been like, I'd have leaned over and told you shouldn't have said that. You know what I'm saying? That would have been a conversation me and her would have been like, nah, you should have kept that one to yourself or between me and you. And then that's another thing with Justin. It's like when they were with Devon Franklin, and she was like, I want him to take the lead and stuff. And they brought up the fact that he asked her to help him take the lead. I was like, that's it. You know, simple conversation as to, hey, hold that to yourself. That's taking the lead. Like, when things are right, when things are wrong. It's just like, yo, be quiet. Don't say that. The whole point of them is like they're trying to get it, or have sex. The biggest issue with them not having sex is that she don't like him. So if she don't like him and don't want to have sex with him, making him have sex with her or making her have sex with him, that's going to be quite difficult. And the way that he's shown us himself, he's not a person that has a lot of the gift of gab to, entice her to, want to have sex with him. But it's gonna be hard for them to make it to that point just because of him not understanding what she means by take the lead, and then for her not really liking him like that. That's gonna be the difficult part, and you have to fight over that. Because for I think she said she was a sexual person, and for a sexual person not have sex with their spouse, that means you don't like this person. Because if you're a sexual person, you're gonna have sex. That's the thing. That's the whole point of being a sexual person, is to have sex. So it's hard. You can appreciate the try, because nothing is worse than not trying, so you can appreciate the try, but it's like, now what? We know that you don't like him. Now what is the goal for you guys? What Devon Franklin was asking her, what does your freedom look like, and do you like to do X, Y, and Z? He was like, yeah, I like that. She'll name something else. He was like, I like that. Okay, do those things. Like, learn to be friends, learn to enjoy each other, and then see where the relationship goes. But she doesn't want to do that. So it's like, when one thing doesn't go right one way, she's like, okay, well, let me pivot and go a different way, instead of saying, well, I don't think he's attractive enough. And so saying that, I think, gets them to another place in their relationship. But not saying it keeps them where they are, like basically fighting strings or pulling strings, trying to figure it out. So, Artieka and Quad just walked down here. So,
I thank Tommy for that. Cause yeah, for real. If Alexis says she was a sexual person, and she ain't trying to have no sex with that man. She don't like him. She don't like him. The other thing is, I really want her to quantify. I dominate all day long in the office. I need somebody to dominate me. So you want to be smacked up, flipped, and rubbed down? You know what I'm saying? But he don't look like the smack it up, flip it, rub it down type of guy. So you gonna have to help him. You're gonna have to help him.
But she got to tell him.
But that's what I'm saying.
She's gonna have to have the conversation with him. Like, this is what I like. This is what I want. But they can't have that conversation because they always arguing.
Right.
Or she's back at her apartment.
Or she just being messy. She being messy. Because I'm gonna go to that too, Tommy. I was like, when she brought it up, I was like, now, okay, it's one or two things. Kristen told Morgan, we're gonna deal with this. So either Morgan planted and was like, girl, I don't know how to bring it up. You real good at talking. Why don't you say something and then I'll chime in? Me, I think that's very possible. That's very possible. I think Alexis just, because Lindy was like, oh my God, I can't believe she just said that. I cannot believe she brought that up. So I don't think it was supposed to go like that. She's messy. But she's so busy trying to fix everybody else's stuff. You're not working on yours because I tend to believe you don't want to work on it. And that I want to have freedom in my marriage. Well, where else do you feel free? That's bull crap. Your freedom is free from him. That's why you want to go to the club, because I'm free from him. That's what freedom looks like. And you want a marriage where your husband not gonna, you ain't got to give him no time. Like, who? What? What? That don't make no sense.
She wants a roughneck.
That don't make no sense. I married my husband because I wanted to be around him 24/7, not because I didn't want to. You don't be in no marriage and expect not to be around your spouse most of the time. Who does that? Who does that? So you don't want to be with him. And then I think somebody in chat said this too. I was like, yeah, it threw her off when she was like, yeah, I like to go, hiking and I do this. And Devon was like, so do you like to do those things, Justin? And he was like, yeah, I like that. She was like, dang, I just knew he was going to say no. Shoot, I got to think of something else now. The other thing I want to say with them, and then I'll let you go. I absolutely, like Talisa said, that joker perked up. Alexis perked up. When she seen it was Devon Franklin, she was like, she was starstruck. She fangirled. And so she was going to put on her best acting in that moment. She was going to be on her best behavior because she was like, not a little bit of, I'm going to put on for the pastor, but more so I'm going to put on for this famous pastor. Yeah, I want him to think the best of me when he leave out of here. Because yes, I just love Justice so much. I want to work on this. You know what, Pastor Franklin? We did have that conversation. We sure did. We listened to what you said. Mm-hmm. I want you to know. I I was listening.
You silly.
I told you, Talisa said too, she put on for that man. She did.
She did, because if you look at it, her and Justin was all close and setting up. She had held his hand, put her hand on his lap and all this. But forget
besides that,
a month later, she had swiped left on his brother, right? She swiped left on him, right? But now everything's all peaches and cream. She does put on for the cameras.
Can I say this real quick too? And I think that is exactly why Talisa touched on that is exactly why Devon Franklin met with them and not nobody else. Because that was the thing. If we get somebody that's cool and like down to earth, maybe we'll get the real. Maybe we'll, maybe he can break through. And, because he came there like, I had to come see about my sister and my brother. I had to check on y'all. And they felt like, oh, maybe this will let the wall down and they'll be real. And she just put on.
She put on, and look, she told y'all that we all know that she doesn't like Justin, right? We all know that she's a sexual being, but she doesn't want to have sex with him for whatever reason. He tried to have sex with her, it just didn't work out. whether he was emotional, because he said he tried. He just was distressed, upset, tired, weak, couldn't get it, whatever that day. Bluetooth shipment didn't come in. I don't know what it was, right? He couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it. So again, he couldn't do it. And she wanted somebody who's dominant. Well, she already know that he's not dominant. You knew that from day one, that he wasn't gonna be the dominant person, that he wasn't gonna smack it up, flip it, and rub it down, that he wasn't gonna be one. You knew that from the honeymoon, that he wasn't the dominant person.
Because he'd have took it. I'm not took it.
But no, no, really, because
he'd have made moves on a honeymoon.
For a guy who has been celibate all this time, he's married now, and is legal and is good, and he ain't really tried. That told her he wasn't dominant, that he wasn't trying to, and then when they tried, he couldn't rise to the occasion. That definitely told her he wasn't dominant, not what she's used to. She used to somebody say, "Girl, get over here now, let's go." Or when she come home, he's picking up on the kitchen counter, do whatever case may be. That's what she want. You know what I'm saying? That's what she's looking for. That's not Justin. So I mean, again, she knows that. So the sexual thing ain't there. The communication stuff ain't there. There's no way in the world they're saying yes on decision day. They're not. There's no way in the world. He doesn't check off the boxes for her. He's halfway a looker. He doesn't meet her sexual need. He doesn't meet a communication need. So what is there left? There's nothing.
I have to explain why I chuckle like that.
What you chuckling for?
Because
remember we on live.
I know, because when you said something about the kitchen counter, see, my sister's in the chat, and when we had the sexual talk, I'm not gonna say nothing because she was like, "Sister, I feel so uncomfortable," and I'm not even talking about me. So when you say, I'm just gonna.
Okay.
I'm not incriminating.
I'm 45 years old, man. It's different. It's been legal. But anyway, that's why she does. He's cowering, and I think I did a separate video on the whole Alexis thing and broke down the conversation. So y'all guys want to check that out? Go ahead. Because Alexis is messy. Nobody said anything to her. And the only thing I can think of, you said it, but I think all the girls got together and had a conversation that Kristen was just sharing, and Alexis decided to throw it back. Because remember, Morgan and Kristen said, "I'm not gonna do it now. I'm gonna wait." But Megan, Alexis pushed that situation and pushed that conversation ahead, and that's why my man was blindsided. She's messy. Their relationship's messy. And if you saw previews, somehow, some way, they did end up doing it. And so on the previews, according
and she looked like she glowing and she happy about it. So I can't wait to see. I'm sorry.
It looked like they're glowing and happy about it. So maybe 6ix9ine put it down.
Dog, I just forgot what I was about to say.
Maybe 6ix9ine did what he was supposed to do.
Y'all see my sister in the chat? She said it.
Like, all you know, we did it at least 3 times, right? That's all you know, sister. But anyway.
No, she knows 5.
About 5 times, yes, yeah. But anyway, so let's go.
We got 3 living children and 2 miscarriages. So she knows 5 times.
5 times. No, I ain't even gonna mess with you like that. I'm not even gonna mess with you. Oh man, let's go to.
I know what I was about to say. Hold
Y'all
on.
hilarious, by the way.
The only good thing that I was like, I'm with you on that, Alexis. This is the only thing that I was like, you know what? That was funny. When her and Justin were in their little vignette and they're talking about Mitch and what Mitch wants. And when she said Mitch need to find him somebody with dirty feet, I was like, that I like you in this moment. And I was like, right.
Yeah.
It was shady as crap. But it was funny.
Speaking of that, Mitch and Kristen, Talisa, your thoughts on Mitch, Kristen, and that whole situation about her not. Yeah, I want you to go first.
Because we ain't heard from Artieka.
Artieka, come on, Artieka.
Let's talk to Artieka and Quad.
I'm gonna
take this off. I was supposed to run away before y'all saw me. Like, I literally had that plan. I was like, I'm gonna just come down here for a second, say my hellos, and I'm gonna run back off. While Mitch's approach is not one that I would necessarily want to deal with, I can deal with the fact that he's straightforward. However, I struggled, and maybe y'all can help me with figuring out what was so bad about him saying he likes her without makeup on. Um, I can't figure that out. Like, as a person who very seldom wears makeup, literally, and what I said in my review was every time we have to go somewhere, I have to buy new makeup because mine is expired. I have to throw it away because I don't wear makeup very often. I just couldn't figure out why was that like anger worthy. And then she let her little homegirl Morgan hype her up, and Morgan was like, we gonna be divorced together. And so she let her get her hyped up, and she went off on this tangent, and I felt Dr. Pepper. She was like, well, he does think that you're attractive, like what's the problem there? And I couldn't figure it out. There's a lot of things that are off-putting and annoying about Mitch, but saying that I think that you're more attractive without makeup is not what I would have thought would have been the straw that broke the camel's back. So that was the confusion for me. Let me put this back on for you.
Yes, please.
Okay, there you go. Well, we're not talking to you today.
I think the biggest thing with her, or her anger throughout the whole thing, is that's the way that her putting on makeup, dressing up, getting her hair done is the way that she secures herself in herself, or what is it called? Self
Esteem.
esteem. It's how she has better self esteem is she dresses up, she puts makeup on, and she gets her hair done because that's the way she feels pretty. And for him to be like, um, I wish you wouldn't wear that, or wish you wouldn't put makeup on, is a dig at her pretty. On top of him calling her him not being attracted to her in the beginning, which she took it as, or seems to be have taken it as, he doesn't think she's pretty. Well, this is a way for her to feel pretty for her. And he didn't pick up on the signs that her sister was not the person to talk to about that, because she was getting upset in the conversation that they were having. And I'm like, how you not like, no, you cut this conversation short, because whatever you're saying is fuel to the flame for her. And him asking her that, like, pretty much took her over the top, because it's something there with her wearing makeup, her putting on dresses, and dressing up and stuff like that. um and her sister knows that, and obviously Mitch did not take the time out to get to know his wife enough to figure out that that's one of the digs that she's struggling with. um but I think it caught Mitch off guard when she knew about it, and I don't know why he didn't expect her to know about it, because he talked to her sister. But when they were at the pool, and they brought it up, he was like, what? No, we didn't talk about anything. Did I tell you this? And it was like he couldn't fight out of that corner. And seeing the way that she reacted to that and how mad she was, that had been brewing. And it doesn't help that Morgan sits there, and you tell Morgan about the situation. Misery loves company, so she's all for Morgan not, what's her name, Kristen, not being happy with her spouse because Morgan just getting a divorce. So it's like all of that stuff brewing together. And then here you go. You spit up. And then here you go. Mitch talking to his sister, trying to get her to dress down and be some type of hippie type person that he's looking for. It just doesn't make sense. Like, for me, when I saw it, I was like, what's up with the makeup? I don't care if you have makeup, get your hair done, and don't get your hair done. If I like you, or if I think you're pretty, that's all I'm gonna go off of. Wear makeup or don't wear makeup, you still the same person. I just think it is a dumb argument. And then when who did they talk to? Dr. Pepper. When they were sitting there talking to Dr. Pepper, he didn't say anything. That's an issue. If that bothers you so much, talk to the expert about it. Bring it up to her to see her reaction. But it's not fair for you to bring it up to somebody else, and then when it gets back to her, you got to sit there and explain yourself when you had ample amount of time to say, hey, this is what's going on or whatnot. So
That was why I also said that he called her ugly on the honeymoon, because if we're still here in this
yeah,
attraction thing, it's
yeah.
not
People
working.
like a lot of times people try to say the attraction means one thing or another, but for me, this whole time attraction have meant he didn't think she was pretty, um, and not what he wanted. And it's like, brother, I mean, like, come on, man. You 41 years old. This is a bucket list item for you. I think you got a catch. You know, I think you have a catch with Kristen, and do your thing. He brought up the flipping homes thing, which again, that was another thing that she brought. I mean, she brought up when they were talking with Dr. Pepper. It was like, that's a business. I get both sides of it, right? Because we had to deal with it when we were buying our house. We put in 18 offers and only got accepted one time. We were getting beat out by cash investors. So it's like, I get his side of it, but I also get her side of it. That's one way to promote generational wealth, to like honestly get yourself out of a hole. If you have real estate, you can flip properties and stuff like that. You're dealing with a different type of business model. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot of things that he complains about and don't support her in, and he's wanting her to be a specific type of way and not accepting her for the way that she wants to be, and that's never gonna work out. And then when Dr. Pepper came in, and she had a point with Dr. Pepper too, asking him, do you feel like she's attractive, and something he said, and he kind of like hesitated one time and was like, yeah. Then she was like, I don't want to be second fiddle or something, she said to him. But it's like, you can see that there's a divide there between him and her, and she just snapped. She was like, I'm done. Okay, well, cool. You're done. You're done with what though? So I don't know. I don't see them going too much further. I don't know, man. I just them two there, man. I think Mitch should have said what he needed to say with Dr. Pepper and left it there. Have a different conversation with her sister and try to enjoy his 2 weeks. I told you at the beginning, Mitch was gonna Mitch this thing up, and he's Mitching it up real bad right now.
Okay. So here's my take. I agree with you wholeheartedly, Artieka and Tommy. I'm sure I'm gonna agree with you too, Jackie and Glenn. However, she's really offended because she's a tomboy. She is a tomboy. Innately, she plays sports her entire life. So if the way she walks, the way she carries herself, so she gets dressed up, like her sister said, for herself, so I can feel more feminine. Because I've been playing these masculine sports, and it is showing up in my spirit, and I want to make myself look pretty. Not only that, the reason that we're in this space is because you weren't attracted to me to begin with. When we started, and I'm trying, and you're like, yeah, no, I don't really like you. I don't really like the way you look. And then we go all this time, and you act like you like me now. But like somebody said, it must have been the sex, and she thought she was going to get him with the sex. Maybe, maybe not. Because I still like Kristen, especially now that she's come back to the Kristen that we knew in the beginning. She has come back to being able to speak her mind. And so for him to turn around and be like, hey, yo, sis, how can I tell her I want her to dress down? Her sister probably should have said, she's never going to dress down. She feels like she looked like a boy her entire life. She's never going to dress down. She's always going to curl her hair and put on very little makeup. Like I don't see pounds and pounds of makeup at all. I mean, I don't see no like foundation. She got a little eyeliner, little eyeshadow, and some lipstick. I don't really see nothing else because she's not covering the marks on her face. So that's how you know that it is very little makeup. So I don't. Who said it? That was you, Tommy, that said that he better just take what he could get. Because Mitch is not an attractive man. You know, I don't like the Doves no way like that. They're not my favorite. There's a few of them that's cute and everything. But he ain't one of them that I would be attracted to. And she is a 10 compared to his like 2.5. Right? She can do all the things that you want to do. Wasn't that her on the paddleboard? That wasn't her on the paddleboard. Was that her on the paddleboard standing up and he was on his knees? Like, can y'all stand up on the paddleboard? I went to Jamaica for my birthday. It was no standing up. I tried, almost had it, fell down. There is no standing up, okay? My core is not as strong as I thought it was. Nevertheless, he needs to count his blessings. I don't like, though, that he was blindsided. I don't like that he didn't have the conversation when he had a safe space with Dr. Pepper, like you said, Tommy. Like, that was the opportune time for you guys to work through. Not that I don't find you attractive, right? I find you attractive. But I love the way you look when you don't wear any makeup, when your hair is wavy. That sounds different than how can I get her to dress down. I love when you come to bed in your natural state. It's such a turn on. I mean, any woman hears her boo, her bae, her whatever, saying, I love the way you look when, makes you want to look more like that versus can you dress down because I'm more attracted to you. And like y'all said, the sister was not the person to talk to about this. The sister is not the person to talk to about this. Like, did you not think that the sister was going to run and say something? But maybe you did. Maybe you smart enough, because he a robot too. Maybe you smart enough to know that I can share this with her sister and her sister going to run tell that. And okay, I see you. It's a love. He doesn't love it, but that's just verbiage that you use to get somebody to do something that you really want them to do, or that you really. And it could be I really like when you. I like when you know, whatever they do, whatever you do for your person, or with an S, whatever you do for them, I like to share it. I love it when you kiss me on the back of my neck. I love it when you rub my booty. I love it when, like, that makes people be like, oh, I'm going to do more of that because I'm going to get more of what I want. And I think that they're done. I don't think that there's any recovery because Kristen already said she was being fake. She had on a facade. She was walking on eggshells. She was trying to be somebody for him. She really don't like all that environmental. I can't drink out of a straw. Somebody said I didn't watch this week's after party. Somebody said he don't want to wear sanitary napkins. Like, that's enough for me, dog. Like, what are we talking about? I'm not finna. Find me something that's biodegradable or something. But I'm not finna, because I'm sure that they have them. So I think that they're done. I think that missteps were, one, Kristen should have been honest about who she is the entire time instead of pretending for him to fit the mold for him. I think that he should have been honest about about her appearance in that whole, like, the counseling session. Like, and we probably would be seeing something different. She would have been upset, but Dr. Pepper would have helped them work through it. I don't know, maybe not, because she was like, this a repeat. You didn't like me then and you don't like how I look now. It's a repeat. Okay? I don't like that. Anyway, that's it.
I'll start with first. I've been saying this too. Mitch is not no prize. The nerve of you to be picky. You ought to be glad she likes you. You ought to be glad. And it would be a compliment. Like when my husband says to me, you look so pretty without makeup. I like the way you look without makeup, but I like you with makeup too. But you don't have to. Like, I think you're pretty the way you are. I think you're beautiful the way you are. You know, that'd be like, I'm like, and I pretty much do like Kristen, like you made the point. She don't even wear that much makeup. She like, you know, she has a very light beat, very light. And so don't say, how can I convince, you know, talk to her about wearing less makeup and then her hair, wearing her hair in her more natural state. Now, sir, leave that lady. You what? She don't want her hair like that. She don't want her hair like that. And I don't even think that has to do so much with trying to be made up. We just don't like our hair certain ways. I would rather it be straight than wavy. You're not finna change my mind. I've had my hair all this time. You're not gonna do that. Stupid of you to think that you could talk to her sister about her and it wouldn't get back. Dummy. You big dummy. Yeah. You big dummy. Like, really? Yeah. And then the conversation, like I said before, Alexis was messy. She shouldn't have brought it up. Too many people was involved in that conversation. They could have had that conversation, just not in that space. And I loved it when she was like, you know what, Dr. Pepper, I'm not going to settle for somebody halfway liking me. I'm not going to do it. I want to be with somebody that's excited to be with me. And I think she did think if I whip it on them just right, we ain't going to have this issue no more. That's like Chris and Paige. I thought if I had sex with her, she'd be more attractive in the morning, and she wasn't. Kristen, it didn't work. But I'm glad she stood up in that moment, was like, nope, I'm done. I'm done changing myself for him. I'm done putting up with the shenanigans. I'm done with y'all letting him off the hook. But he was sitting there looking real stupid. I was like, he's like, well, obviously everybody knows the conversation except for me. And Kristen was like, don't nobody know, ain't no secret. I ain't told nobody. Alexis set that up because when she said it, he really was like, well, everybody know except me, huh? Everybody in on except me, huh? I'm the last one to find out, huh? Yeah, nah. So he was embarrassed. You can't embarrass. And the funny thing is, this is the last thing I'm gonna say. He didn't want to wear the shirt that she gave him because he felt like it was controlling. And then you want to talk about what she uses during her menstrual period. You want to talk about her wearing less makeup and changing her hair. Well, that's funny. You don't want to wear the gift I gave you. I wasn't even trying to force it on you, but you want to force I had to get the stainless steel shot glasses. You want me to use a reusable cup for my iced lattes. You want me to do everything. What the freak are you doing for me, sir? They're doomed.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I think Mitch has to learn. One thing I think when I came into marriage, I'm not gonna tell you where to put makeup on. I'm not gonna tell you how to do your hair. You was doing your hair before you met me. You was wearing makeup before you met me. I'm just gonna trust that you know what you're doing.
He just told me don't come home bald.
I only have one request.
Don't come home bald.
We both can't have bald heads, right? That's all. That was my only request. Like, we both can't have bald heads. We both can't have tight fades with lineups. That's all, right? But that was the only thing. But again, he has to do better. And I do. I think Mitch is a liar. And I'm telling you this why I was going to do a video on it, but I just hadn't had time to do it. But how do you get excited when the mom walked down the aisle who's all made up and then getting mad because the daughter is wearing too much makeup? So somewhere it doesn't correlate or doesn't click. Some things don't match up, right?
Because that mama was made up.
Because mama was made up, the plastic surgery up and everything tucked and all that. And you're like, oh, this is my wife? Ooh. Right? But now the daughter comes and you like, oh, I'm not really attracted. There's a problem. He was not attracted to her from the beginning. And so he doesn't like her from the beginning. And again, I think agree with everybody in the chat. She tried to whip it on him. And I'm like, okay, good. Well, you may fall in with sex. But again, she's been changing things and this and didn't work. And this was the last straw. The last straw meaning that she was tired of conforming and he is not changing. Tired of making him try to change and there's nothing that takes place. So again, Mitch here is one of those things where Mitch has to, if you want to work this thing out, ask for forgiveness. Should have went with an expert like Tommy said. But I think it's too far gone. I really do think it's too far gone. I think she's checked out. I think everyone's now in her ear. She saw how easy it is for Morgan to check out. You check out, girl. You going? All right, good. You know what I'm saying? So she's like, you know what? I'm gonna do the same thing too. I don't think her and Mitch recovered from this. I really don't. I think a decision day that he'll say no. She'll say no. He might say yes. So then again, he might get the whiff of it because it seems like they've both been talking about decision day anyway. Everybody's been talking about decision day. And that at the end of the day, they all gonna be like, yeah, he can go his separate way and find a hippie. I'm sure he can find somebody, some hippie on that one of the beaches in San Diego, driving one of them 1975 Volkswagen vans. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's a lot down there with surfboards on top, and he can be able to find one of those. And so at the end of the day, he go check that out. But Kristen, I think she's done, and it's totally it's okay. It's okay. And Mitch hasn't realized that he can't make women conform to the way his thinking is. And that's his biggest problem. He's trying to make her change, but he's not willing to change in the relationship or grow together and change. And her problem is that she did everything that he asked her to do. And that was a problem because she wanted to be married so bad. There's sometimes in marriage you're like, no, I'm not doing that. It's okay to say no in marriage. It's okay to say, you know what? This is who I am. This is what I am. We can grow together. But there's some things that as a woman that I need to do. There's some things as a man that I need to do. And this may not be a conversation that me and you may need to have. Because him going and telling her that her menstrual cycle, she may need to use cups and all this other stuff, bro, you out of line. Yeah, he out of line. That is totally out of line, right? Dog, she'd have had this way before you. All right. And she's been doing this way before you. If she want to use sanitary napkins, let her use what she want to use, put it in the trash can and roll out. You know, that's one of the things I think it's too much. I think, was he blindsided? Yes. Should that conversation have happened there? No. It should have been in the privacy of their own home, but she felt empowered. She felt like she had some support. She felt like she had backing. And so what she did was she moved on. I'm happy for her that she was able to stand up. But at the same time, though, some conversations you need in the privacy of your own home. I'm done. I'm done. Because this is just one of those things where you like, you know what? You know somebody else sparked a flame to this argument, and they sat back and watched this bad boy burn.
Didn't she though?
Because this conversation would have been different in their homes. If they were just them two by themselves, this conversation would have been different. The experts wouldn't have got involved. Everybody else wouldn't have had to share their opinion and none of that. It would have just been Kristen and Mitch working this thing out. Maybe brought the sister in, whatever case may be. But hey, it's Mitch's world, and I guess everybody lives in it, and he wants to save the earth. One makeup packet or one makeup palette at a time. Man,
I gotta excuse myself, y'all.
Closing thoughts. What are you guys' closing thoughts on this episode of Married at First Sight before we get up out of here?
I think the only thing I wanted to say, because I forgot about the period thing, was that ain't none of a man's business. The only thing I'm concerned about when it comes to periods in my wife is, are you still bleeding, and is it heavy? Those are the two things I'm concerned about. You know, anything else, I don't care how she can't take care of it, how she, you know, but it's not my place. You know, I don't feel like that's my place to have an opinion about it, regardless of if I'm like save the earth or what they say call them Captain Planet or whatnot. Like that's her business. She knows how to handle it. It's her body. You know,
Right.
You take care of that part. You know what I'm saying? If you need me to go get something, I'll go get it. No issues. Just tell me what you need, but I'm not gonna make a suggestion to you. You could tell me half time if you tell me that you're doing X, Y, and Z. It's one listening ear, and you know I'm like thinking about outside, you know, or something. But I don't agree with how he's trying to conform her to his lifestyle instead of trying to have a relationship with her. And I think that's where his downfall is. Outside of that, you know, is what it is. Don't forget to subscribe to all our channels, like this video and like our videos, and continue to comment because we all enjoy the conversations that we have with each other and with you guys. And that's it. That's all I got.
Talisa.
I don't really have any final thoughts on this episode. On this nothing. I don't really have nothing to say. We just gonna wait and see how everybody but Miguel and Lindy and Stacia and Nate say yes. They gonna say yes. That's it. Unless something happened in these next couple weeks. Other than that, I don't know. That Lindy and Miguel might be having some issues right now. I don't know. We're gonna wait and see. That's all I got. And if anybody is looking for my reviews for Married at First Sight, this is where they live, right here on Jack and Glenn's shadow on this panel. I will not be doing them separately, okay? I'm just here to say that, and like Tommy said, make sure you go through and subscribe to all of us because we like that. If they've got some memberships, please join those as well.
Yep. Join everybody's membership there and go to TalisaRay.com and get one of those nice and beautiful journals that are still available.
That would be nice. Ain't no pressure. They better than just, sometimes you need some help on what you need to look at. And I feel like it's better than you trying to figure it out in your own head.
Definitely. I appreciate you guys for commenting. Thank you very much. Everybody said it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button for everybody. The bell notification. So when we do put videos up that you do check them out. Make sure you share this with everybody else. And guys, have a great and prosperous week. And we'll continue talking about Married at First Sight here next week. And we'll see what approaches and what happens. Maybe Justin did get lucky and he did put a glow and a smile on Alexis' face. And maybe she'll do a 180, but we'll talk about that next week on this panel discussion. You guys have a great night and be blessed.